and thank you so much for joining me tonight. This is Saturday Night Crafting on Sunday. We've had a really busy week. I've had a lot of decorating done in my house. My husband had his birthday. We've had to move a lot of furniture to rip out carpet, preparing for new carpet to go in. So if you want an update again on my house and what's been going on with my craft room, that will be at the end of the video, so stick around and check that out if you want. If you enjoyed tonight's content, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. That means the world to me. It keeps me going as a creator. Now tonight is all about using up scraps. So if you follow me, you know I love my scraps jar. This is it here. And it is quite depleted because my daughter had to go with it quite a while ago, and I just haven't been getting that many scraps lately, so my scraps jar is a bit thin, but I keep all of my strips in there, and then they're ready to go for card making. Now if you haven't got strips or you don't have a strips jar, but you've got a pile of scraps like this, that's also going to work tonight. So I went ahead and made myself a 5x5 card base, and then I cut my strips to 5 by half an inch long, and then I had these scraps left over, so stick to the end because I'll show you 2 more cards that we can make using those scraps as well. So my idea tonight was I wanted to do one of these kind of weaved looking like backgrounds. So I wanted to create some fake looking ribbon, so I didn't actually have to use real ribbon. So I'm going to use this acrylic marker from Arteza. Any kind of white gel pen will work as well. I just find white gel pens take a bit longer to dry, and then it's a bit harder to do because I tend to smudge things. I'm not very patient. The acrylic marker seemed to soak in really fast and dry really quickly, so I really like using it. It's also got a plastic nib, which means it's really precision, and the nib doesn't get kind of frayed or fluffy, which is really nice. So I've done all my strips now, and I'm going to go ahead and use this sort of cutting mat, but I'm using it purely for the grid. So if you've got grid paper, that works as well. And I'm just using it to kind of line my strips up just for those first couple to kind of get an idea of where I want them to go. I didn't plan this out very well. You'll see at the end it's kind of a bit wonky, but I just make it a bit smaller than I originally planned. So I'm sticking it down. I'm going 1 square up and 1 square in to start. I do change my mind and go a bit higher than this. In a second you'll see. And it's all up to you. It's whatever you want the look to look like. Do you want them nice and snug together? Do you want a bit of a space between them? Totally up to you. And while I'm doing this, I am pretty much just gluing down this first line, and then the rest of them I'm going to kind of glue down a bit more once I'm finished. I just add a little bit of glue here and there. You'll see as I go. I've sped this up for you so it's not totally boring. If you've done this before, then I apologize, crack on, you're probably much better than I am. But I just really wanted to try this out, weaved kind of look out with my sort of fake ribbon look. Now, I do apologize if my voice is a bit irritating. I'm still trying to get it back. I had the flu over 2 months ago and lost my voice completely, and this is kind of as good as it gets at the moment. So we're just going to roll with it. Now here you can see I'm adding little bits of glue here and there. Now when it comes to making it look like kind of an edge of a ribbon, we're going to tear our cardstock. But if you've got a white core cardstock like I do, you need to pay attention to which way you tear. So if you tear up, you're going to see that white core. If you tear downward, you get that torn edge, but the white core stays hidden. So here I'm tearing up, you can see the white. When you tear down, is hidden. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to just tear down, and I'm going to go ahead and tear all my edges so it kind of looks like I've roughly cut them or they're starting to fray, giving that kind of rough ribbon edge look. You don't have to do this. You could leave it nice, perfect, and clean. Completely up to you, but I was going for sort of a ribbony look, and that's what I wanted to do. Now, if you go ahead and rip too much off like I do here, I get a little enthusiastic and I rip the whole thing off. If you do that, don't worry. Just pop a bit of sticky on the back and pop that bit of fake ribbon back on, and no one will have a clue and no one will be able to tell at all. So I just went ahead and stuck that piece back on and then ripped it again, paying a bit more attention this time and not getting too over keen on my ripping. So there you go. Now it looks, you can't tell the difference that I'd ripped the whole thing off. So there's my little panel ready to go. I had a little play around with colors, trying to work out what I wanted. I liked how it popped off the white. Because I used a whole bunch of different shades of purple, I didn't want to then have a colored piece right behind it. If you used all neutral shades, then you could easily put like a nice colored panel behind. So to break up that color a bit, I've got a white panel there, and it's going to go on top of some decorative paper that is a purple theme as well. When in doubt and you don't know what to do with your colors and you don't know how to match up your cardstock and your inks and all those kinds of things, just go all the same color just different shades. So as long as you're using multiple shades of the same color, it will always look good and it will always look nice. So I had Alina's dies there for my little sentiment panel, and then I've got these dies for my flower. Now, if you've watched this video, you'll have seen how to make your DIY colored card. So this is silver card, and I have dyed it purple. So I'm just wiping off the excess there, and then that way I've got this nice, clear, beautiful background. That video should be linked somewhere in the top right-hand corner, but you can also find it in the description box if you want to see how to make your own silver foil into whatever color you want it to be. Now I've got my panel and my bits all ready to go. I can go ahead and start adhering it down. So I'm going to just use some liquid glue and stick down my little fun panel onto my white square, ready to go on my card. Now I did want it to pop a bit more, so I used some foam squares to go behind my white panel and pop it up a bit higher. Now that we've got sort of our little ribbon bundle done, it's just a matter of decorating, adding on a sentiment if you want, and kind of keeping that your focal point. Now, I felt like I wanted to add a bit more to my card, add a bit more dimension and character to it, and so I thought, oh, I'll add some metallic thread. And I got a whole big bundle of metallic thread off of AliExpress a few years ago, and it's still running really strong. I've got a lot of colors, and I do have a purple. So I decided I would use some of that purple thread in my card making as well. But before doing that, I decided that I would go ahead and stamp my sentiment out so I could kind of start to lay out my design and work out exactly how I wanted it to go. So I'm going to use my VersaFine clearing purely because that's what's on my desk, and I can't find much at the moment because half of my office is now up in the loft and half of it is still in my office, current office downstairs. So we are making do with what we've got to hand in these next couple videos because we are struggling with supplies while I sort my life out. So I've stamped Happy New Year. If you watched my last video, I'm all about the New Year cards because I missed out on making Christmas cards due to being ill. And so now I am going to send everyone Happy New Year cards. So my next sort of few videos are just going to have the sentiment Happy New Year. Obviously you can put birthday, whatever you like. Here's my purple metallic thread. I've stuck some glue dots down on my card roughly where I want it to go. And then I can just scrunch up that thread and wiggle it around until I've got it looking how I like it. Now, I don't know where my thick foam has gone for me to be able to shape these flowers, so I'm just using some kids' fun foam. You can see my kids have been at it with this piece here. And I'm just going to go ahead and rub it using this sort of fat stylus thing. And I have no idea what I'm doing. I never know what I'm doing with flowers, but I kind of try and go for one direction in the middle and the opposite direction on the petals, and I find that that gives me a bit of dimension and makes it pop a bit. So I've gone for a glitter layer, a vellum layer, and a foil layer. And I've cut this out 3 times out of each of those because I'm making 3 cards, so you'll see the different layered flowers at the end because I used them all up on my cards. I also was really short on embellishments, so I basically scrounged the bottom of my drawers, found what I could, and stuck it on my flower. So we made do with what we had. I'm going to pop my little sentiment up with some foam again, and then that way it kind of stands up off of the thread a little bit, gives it a bit more character again. And then because I'm standing that up, I want to also pop up my flower, and I'll just kind of tuck that in with my sentiment so it's this nice little kind of eye drawing corner. Your eye goes to that like little corner, but you can still see all that fun that we made with the paper in the background, our DIY ribbon. So there's the first card, all finished and done. You can keep it as simple or as complicated as you like, so you could do this kind of hatched one, or you could just take your cardstock and take one solid strip and do like a ribbon as if you wrapped it around the card. So I wrapped this around my decorative paper like you would a piece of ribbon, and then I just glued it right there onto the cardstock, and it gives you a nice clean cut, simple way to use up those scraps, make them look like ribbon. Really nice and easy card. The next one, I scrunched up that cardstock a little bit to make it look like that ribbon wasn't ironed, it wasn't perfect. And then I did my frayed ends again, crisscrossed them over each other, and popped them up with a bit of foam, stuck some of that twine behind it again, and then there's my flower. So those are 3 different ways you can use up those scrap strips or your scraps, and you can make them look like ribbon cards without having the expensive ribbon involved. So I hope you had a really great time with me. If you'd like to stick around now and see what I've been up to, please do. So this is my new office. We had our loft converted over the summer, and it is finally starting to come together and come to an end. I've got my brand new flooring in there. I've got my office wallpaper up from the decorator, and I'm absolutely thrilled. So I'm starting to put my furniture up there, build my new desks, and I will give you a tour when it's done. This is our new master bedroom. Picked out some teal paint and some teal wallpaper. This has got silver sort of foliage on it. It's quite cool. It's quite bumpy and textured as well. We get beautiful sunlight in there when it's sunny. It is just bright even when it's dull outside. So we're really thrilled and excited. The carpet is going in tomorrow morning. So you'll see some of our fun in a minute, what we've been having to get ready for that. It was my husband's birthday on Friday, so we went out to a restaurant in Didcot. One of the ones that we've never been to before is called Django's, and it was amazing. It was food just like home, fall off the rib, like bone ribs. My husband had a really great burger. The salads were really, really nice, and they surprised us with singing him happy birthday and bringing him a free little brownie with ice cream, so it really made our night. Now this is currently our kitchen. It's got everything from the living room in it, because when they do my new bedroom up in the loft, or our new bedroom I should say, I keep calling it mine, we are also getting the hall, stairs, landings and living room done, and then we will get the other bedrooms done later on. We had our friend Susanna come around last night, which is why my video didn't go up last night. We ended up taking out carpet for the evening, and then we finished off the night with a Chinese takeaway and watching the latest James Bond film, which we missed. So I hope you had fun with me. I will be back next Saturday with another video and some more updates on my transition. Take care and have a lovely week. Bye.